part, an important part to play.
I kažu, mi imamo ulogu, važnu ulogu.
My part as a human being is to plan.
Moj deo kao ljudsko biće je da planiram.
And then God's part is to establish my steps, to make that happen.
I onda Božji plan je, stvari Božji deo je da uspostavi to, odnosno da usmeri.
And so you will hear lots of people who will speak that way about it.
Čućete mnogo puta ljudi koji govore o tome
That
na
this
taj
is a
način.
partnership where I plan and God carries it out.
This isn't.
That they will say, this is a partnership in which I plan and God carries it out.
Ovo je partnerstvo kojem ja planiram, a Bog to izvodi da se ostvari.
I don't think this is at all what this is saying.
Mislim da ovo ne govori uopšte.
In fact, let's look at another one, Proverbs 19:21.
Ajde da pogledamo drugi stih Izreke 19:21.
Many are the plans in the mind of a man,
Mnogi su planovi u umu čoveka,
but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand.
ali namera Gospodnja će ostati.
See, what these mean is that we plan all the time,
Šta to znači? Da mi planiramo stalno, sve vreme.
and it doesn't mean anything.
I to ne znači ništa.
We have many plans,
Imamo mnogo planova,
and they come and go
i oni dolaze i
just
odlaze,
as quickly as we do.
tako brzo kao i mi.
And we plan things that we cannot fulfill, that we cannot complete or
I planiramo
accomplish.
stvari koje ne možemo da ispunimo ili postignemo,
But God has a plan,
ali Bog ima plan
and His plan will always be carried out.
i njegov plan će uvijek biti ostvaren.
It never fails.
Nikad ne izneverava.
It never changes.
Nikad se ne menja.
And He is the one who's able to complete what He plans.
I on je onaj koji je u stanju da upotpuni ono što planira.
So what these verses are saying is,
Ono što ovi stihovi govore jeste,
if you can plan if you want to,
možeš planirati ako želiš,
and you are wasting your time,
a u stvari tratiš svoje vreme.
and you cannot put your hope in those plans
I ne možeš da se nadaš u te planove,
because you can't fulfill them.
zato što ih ne možeš ispuniti.
But God is the one who establishes what happens.
Ali Bog je onaj koji uspostavlja ono što će se desiti.
And so, especially in a church, you might think,
Posebno u crkvi možete misliti,
so how could we reach Titel?
kako mi da dostignemo titel,
What should we do?
šta treba da radimo?
Maybe a program or some kind of a goal that we need,
Možda neki program ili cilj koji treba da uvedemo
and we could sit down and strategize about the best way to accomplish that.
i možemo sesti i pričati o strategijama, načinima kako da
Who has some
ostvarimo,
good ideas?
ko ima neku dobru ideju.
I think what the Bible teaches us
Mislim da ono što nas Biblija uči,
is that God has a plan for Titel.
Bog ima plan za titel.
We don't know what it is,
Mi ne znamo koji je
and He doesn't need us to make up some plan or strategy.
i on ne treba nas da izmislimo neki plan ili strategiju,
But what He wants is for us to follow Him,
ali on želi da ga mi sledimo
and He will accomplish what He wants to do.
i on će ostvariti ono što želi da
You know,
uradimo.
it may not be what we want,
Možda to nije nešto što mi
it
želimo,
may not be what we think would be best.
možda nije nešto što mi mislimo da će biti najbolje.
As you read through the Bible, you'll see this happen many times.
Dok čitate kroz Bibliju, vidjet ćete se ono što se dešava.
Just a couple examples.
Samo nekoliko primjera.
There's a city, we need to go attack that city and conquer it.
Postoji grad koji mi moramo da idemo da napadamo i osvojimo.
Now, if that was up to us,
Da je to od nas, da
we'd
zavisi
get
od
our
nas.
best generals together and our best weapons.
Mi ćemo tako biti najbolji generali i imat ćemo najbolje oružje.
We want to find the weak spot in the enemy's defenses,
Želimo da pronađemo slabe tačke u odbrani neprijatelja
and we're going to carefully plan our attack so we can defeat that city.
i pažljivo ćemo isplanirati naš napad da poražimo taj grad.
And God says,
A Bog
here's my
kaže,
plan.
evo mog plan.
I want you to go for a walk.
Želim da odete se prošetate.
Just walk around the city
Samo
once. Yeah.
hodajte oko grada
Don't
jednom.
say anything.
Nemojte ništa reći.
Nothing. Just quiet
Samo
walk.
tišinu šedete.
Next day, the same thing.
Sljedeći dan isto stvar.
6 days in a row. Quietly walk around the city.
Tiho
Now,
hodajte oko grada.
The last day, 7th day, walk around 7 times.
Posljednji dan, 7. dan, hodajte 7
Quiet,
puta. Tiho.
quiet. And at the very end,
I na samom kraju
okay, now shout and blow the trumpet, and the walls will all fall down.
vičite i duvajte u trube i svi zidovi će pasti.
So it's really different than the way we plan,
To je
right?
drugačije od načina na koji mi planiramo, zar ne?
But God always carries out His plan.
Ali Bog uvijek ostvaruje svoj plan.
And so Our part is simply to follow Him, listen for instructions. What do you want us to do? Walk.
Naš deo je jednostavno da sledimo, da slušamo uputstva, ako je to da hodamo, ok.
I don't have to think it's a good idea or understand it.
Ne moram da
or
mislim da li je to dobra ideja ili da to razumem.
I don't have to agree with it.
I ne moram da se složim sa tim.
And I do want to warn you about one thing,
I želim da se upozorimo iz jedne stvari.
which is that God's plans, what He has planned to accomplish,
A to je da Božji plan i način na koji on to ostvaruje
is not always what we want.
nije uvek što mi želimo.
Because sometimes it's not the enemy's walls that He's tearing down.
Zato što nisu uvek neprijatelji zidovi koji treba da se sruše.
Sometimes He's tearing down our walls.
Ponekad on želi da naši zidovi budu srušeni.
And we say, but that's not what we want.
I mi kažemo ne, to nije ono što mi želimo.
What is important is what God has planned.
Ono što je važno je ono što Bog je
And it
isplanirao.
might include many things that we don't want.
To može da uključuje mnoge stvari koje mi ne želimo.
So I think when you think about your life,
Mislim da kada razmišljate o svom životu,
whether it's your part in this fellowship,
bilo da je to vaš deo u ovoj zajednici,
or those of you who are students, as you're graduating, you're going back to your places, your towns,
i za vas koji ste studenti i završavate školu i gdje vraćate se svoje
Back to
crkve,
your
svoje gradove,
churches,
naše crkve,
or whether it's in your relationships with others, in your marriage,
i bilo
your
da je
family,
u vašim odnosima sa drugim, vašim
With
porodicom,
your
vašim
children.
brakom, sa vašim decom
or your job.
i vašim poslom.
This isn't about deciding which results you want,
Ovdje se ne radi o odlučivanju kakve rezultate želite,
or figuring out what kind of numbers would make this a successful church. How many people do we need to have to
ili
make the
da
church?
shvatite koliki broj čini da ova crkva bude uspešna ili koliki broj možemo da dostignemo,
Or what is excellent worship going to look like, or excellent teaching?
ili kako će odlično slavljenje ili naučavanje izgledati.
See, whatever it is that takes place,
Šta god da je da se dešava,
this is God's plan for you.
ovo je Božji plan za vas.
And I think we need to realize that He's doing it very purposefully.
I mislim da treba da shvatimo da on to radi sa namerom.
And the question we need to ask
I pitanje koje treba da pitamo
is simply, what do you want me to say?
je jednostavno šta želiš da ja kažem,
What do you want me to do?
šta želiš da uradim.
And I will do that.
I ja ću to raditi.
See, we usually think in terms of what God wants us to accomplish.
Mi često razmišljamo u smislu šta Bog želi da postigne.
I worked for a long time as a pastor
Ja
thinking
sam
that way.
dugo vremena radio kao pastor razmišljajući na taj način.
I thought this would be so wonderful if I can accomplish something good for God.
Mislio sam, ovo je nešto predivno što ja hoću da ostavim za Boga.
So here I am working hard to try to build a nice gift to give Jesus,
Evo
a church.
naporno se trudim da napravim divan poklon Isusu.
So I can say, look, Jesus,
Da mogu reći, Bože Isuse,
I love you, and here's the church that I built for you.
ja te volim i evo crkvu koju sam izgradio za tebe.
And everything that happened
I sve što se desilo,
that seemed to tear that church apart,
što se činilo da je razaralo tu crkvu,
I greatly resented,
ja sam veoma žalio.
because those people were destroying my present that I was creating for Jesus.
Zato što ti ljudi uništavali moj poklon koji sam ja stvorio za Isusa.
And I can't tell you what a difference it made for me
Ne mogu vam reći kakvu je to razliku napravilo za mene.
to realize that in all those things that were happening,
Da shvatim da u svim tim stvarima koje su se dešavale,
God was actually carrying out His plan.
Bog je u stvari ostvarivao svoj plan.
His plan for me, His plan for them.
Njegov plan za mene, za njih,
It's not what I would have chosen.
nije ono što bih ja izabrao.
It wasn't what looked like success or
Nije nešto kao da izgledalo uspešno,
an attractive church to people,
privlačna crkva za ljude,
but it's what God was doing.
već to je ono što je Bog radio.
And to follow Him in that,
I da ga sledim u tome,
instead of trying to accomplish something for Him,
umesto da pokušam da nešto postignem za njega,
is the one thing that brought satisfaction to me in ministry.
je jedna stvar koja je donala zadovoljstvo meni u službi.
Because then I'm not looking at the situation or the results
Zato što tada ne gledam situaciju ili rezultate,
in order to feel satisfied,
da bi se osjećao zadovoljeno.
but finding satisfaction in Jesus
Već da pronađem zadovoljstvo u Isusu
and trusting Him
i da verujem njemu,
that He's carrying out His plan.
da će onda ostavi svoj plan.
He's very purposeful about what he does.
On veoma je nameran u tome što radi.
And if we're going to follow him,
I ako ćemo ga slediti,
we must deny our own thinking, our own plans,
mi se moramo odreći našeg razmišljanja ili planova
and follow.
i slediti.
So these are the three things I would have you remember.
Ove su tri stvari koje želim da zapamtite.
God is in control,
Bog je u kontroli,
not men.
ne ljudi.
God is the Savior, not
Bog je
men.
spasitelj, a ne ljudi.
It is God's plan that He's working out, not men's plans.
Božji plan to ostvaruje, a ne ljudski.
You know, so often if we think of the ideal pastor,
Često kada razmišljamo o idealnom pastoru,
we think, I want somebody who's going to
želim nekoga koji bi
really help relieve my anxieties.
koji bi olakšao moje strahove.